Warning. The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on the show are reflective of AJ Orsini and his guests exclusively. But seriously, guys, the show's called Uncensored. If you got a problem with bad language, I really don't give a shit.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
How the hell is everybody out there? This is your boy. This is your main man here, your jive soul brother from another mother. This is your main man, AJ Orsini, and I am your host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. And can you hear my voice today? It is much different, isn't it? There's a little bit of an energetic feel to the man today. Yes, because today is a historic day here on the show. It is historic for one gigantic main reason. Folks, this is a historic episode because I bequeath onto all of you not only episode 68, but I'm also bequeathing unto you the first ever episode in the new, as I reach into my ring announcer voice, my new House of O. This is the brand new House of O. Like I said during that song there, we moved westward. If you're looking at the map of Brooklyn, northern here, southern here, yeah, we moved to the left. So that would be west. We moved westward. That song actually is referring to them moving to the east side of Manhattan. But, whew, that was a long time ago. Back when you can afford to move to the east side of Manhattan. I cannot. I can only really afford to move to the west side of Brooklyn. And it's still an upgrade and a half in a hizzy. An upgrade in a hizzy from where I used to be. I'm already feeling the effects of a better neighborhood. A lot more eyes on us, people paying a lot more attention to what you're doing. Really into your business over here on the west side. West side, okay? So we officially moved in. There's still some straggling shit at the old apartment. That'll be taken care of within the next day or two. I had a truck for the big move. We're finding out now I may need I may need a cargo van for the rest. It's all miscellaneous shit. We're a bunch of hoarders, so we got a bunch of old shit we refuse to let go of. At least until our son is old enough to have seen it and know when it exists, and then I can get rid of it. I found out that's what people do now. My mother does it now. I found out. Where, like, she holds on to this shit long enough for me to know that she had it, and now it's gone. So it's the same thing here. Let's get into this, okay? This episode is going to be one of the shorter episodes. I have a lot to do. I just moved in, as I just said. So that creaking sound is going to be the death of me. I can't keep pausing this shit for the creaking sound. This chair. You're about to go too, you son bitch. I've thrown a bunch of shit out during this move. I think that's when people realize how much shit they really have in their house, is when it's time to move it. Because when you have to move it, that's when you start making the decision. Like, how much do I really like you? Because if I really like you, I'll put in the effort, I'll put you in the truck, and then we'll move you to this new nice place where you can stay with me. Or if you've served me no purpose, you've just been leeching and mooching off of my shelter for all these years, the trash bin is where you're headed. So, we've thrown a lot of stuff out. I've got one computer chair, and it used to be a really damn good computer chair. Now it is not. Now it is a creaky old piece of shit, and quite frankly, it's pissing me off. Let me see if I can do it again. Let me see. Yeah, now all of a sudden it doesn't want to show up, huh? Now you want to make me look like a fool. Oh, there it is. Want to make me look like a fool. So yes, this chair is probably on its fucking way out too. Just like I went on a banning spree on social media not so long ago, I'm going on a furniture spree as well. Out into the bin you fucking go. Jesus Christ. So, this is going to be one of the shorter shows that I do because this is the end of the year. There's a lot of stuff to get to. I was actually doing preparations for an end of the year review type deal. Like I did last year. Last year at the end of the year, I did a whole, what was the best thing that happened in 2017. I was going to do something similar with that this year. And then as I started doing research, I started realizing every fucking show out there, both video, audio, whatever have you, is all doing our end of the year review right now as well. I'm not doing a year in review. Obviously, all of you know how good this year was or how bad this year was, so we're not going down that road. Um, Obviously, some of the bigger things of the year, the All In show, Daniel Bryan's return. There's a lot of great things that have happened this year. Kenny Omega finally becoming the IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the World. All the rumors going around about a new company with a new billionaire backer. All kinds of stuff going on in the world of pro wrestling that all you guys know damn well about. I've ranted about it 1,000 times. It's one of the beautiful things of having a podcast. Is I can go off on a tangent and you guys can catch it whenever you want to catch it. As a matter of fact, we're going to go through some of those statistics. Instead of doing a year review on the world of pro wrestling, I'm going to do a year in review in the world of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I have a lot of thanks to give for this year. It's been a wonderful year for me, an explosion, so to speak. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. When you guys look at the docket sheet that I have, the road gallery of guests coming up on this show within the next few weeks, let alone for the remainder of 2000, well, for the upcoming, not remainder, we haven't gotten there yet, but for the upcoming 2019 year, you guys are going to be really excited, or at least I hope you're going to be really excited. There's going to be a lot of interesting people on this show coming up 2019, not just some of my friends, but some of your favorites as well. Some pretty big names, actually, are going to be making their rounds on this show. I've already made some arrangements, especially for WrestleMania weekend. I have an immense opportunity here. I know every show in the New York area will, but I'm going to make it my personal mission to give you guys something a little creative, a little outside the box, and a little interesting for you guys to tune in and listen to and get some different angles on things. And there's some pretty big names in the wrestling world that are going to be in the New York area for WrestleMania weekend. That's going to be not only huge for me personally, but huge for me professionally, because I'm going to have my pick of the litter, and I'm going to try to make sure I get the very best guests for you guys coming up that weekend. If you guys have any suggestions, people you want to hear interviewed on the show, please feel free to let me know. Send me some messages, some comments. Hit me up. You can even email me, ajorsini96host@gmail.com. And you can bring your feedback here and let me know what the hell you want on the show coming up 2019. I know what I want. Tell me what you guys want. And if I feel like fucking doing it, maybe I'll get around to it. Who knows? Remember, I do this show for me, not you. So go fuck yourself. Anywho, there's a lot to get to here. And some of it will be pro wrestling, some of it will be about me, so bear with me on the me stuff, because this is just cathartic. It's just me just trying to get shit off my chest here and just be happy for once, because for you guys who have been listening the last few weeks, I have been in a gigantic rut, and I've been that way because of this week. I knew this week was coming. I knew it was going to be very physically taxing, and it was. I'm pretty much a ball of sore muscle at this point, but I did a lot of schoolwork and actual work leading up so that I would be free and available and capable of doing the move and just basically focusing on my family, especially since we're moving around the Christmas time, which is not a good time to move. If I can learn anything from this and to put out there for you guys, don't do it during the holiday season. It's a gigantic pain in the ass. Businesses are not open. People are busy doing shit. It's just a horrible time to do the move. Shout out to my brother, Brother O, who came out from South Jersey, came over, helped me with, there's the creek. You hear the creek again? Some bitch. Shout out to my bro for coming out and helping with the big stuff. He pretty much loaded up the truck with help from me, essentially. He pretty much did the truck. And I helped them with that, and we did a lot of the packing on the inside of the house. There's a lot of stuff going on, and my wife almost threw her entire back out getting that stuff off the truck. It's funny, for those of you who've moved before, you know where I'm coming from with this. My old apartment is a 3rd floor apartment in a 6th floor building filled with a bunch of apartments with a bunch of fucking people. And whenever you try to bring in groceries in an apartment building that has an elevator, it's always a pain in the ass. You're coming in on the 1st floor, the elevator's on 6, or whatever the fuck the case may be. It's always a long fucking trip, which should take 2 seconds. Usually takes 2 hours, because you have to wait for this fucking elevator to get down to where you're at. And it's always a gigantic pain in the ass. Moving in a situation like that, also a gigantic pain in the ass. My situation is a little half and half. Before this move, the previous move, I moved from the sixth floor of a sixth-floor building to the third floor of a sixth-floor building. So elevators moving out, elevators moving in. Gigantic pain in the ass, right? This time around, I'm moving from a third-floor apartment in a sixth-floor building to the first floor, the lobby area almost. In this new building that I'm in, which is also, from what I understand, I think it's a 7th-floor building. I wouldn't know because I wasn't in the fucking elevator one goddamn time. The loading took forever because of that fucking elevator. Because simultaneous to me moving out of my apartment, apparently 2 other apartments got vacated, so they were moving in equipment to the elevator to go upstairs to fix and to repair or whatever the fuck these new apartments. So I'm moving shit out, they're moving shit in, and then when they were done doing what they had to do, I'm moving shit out, they're also moving shit out. So what should have taken maybe an hour, maybe 2, took like 6. It was a gigantic pain in the ass to get everything into the fucking truck. Then, I take the truck. We packed this truck on a fucking Saturday. So we take the truck from my home, my old home. We drive it 25 minutes to the new apartment. Because it took so fucking long to pack, we didn't get to the new apartment until like, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something like that, which is when the truck was supposed to go back. So I'm already late. So I'm late on the return of the U-Haul truck. We get to the front of the building. I might have gotten 3 bags in. Turns out in our lease, which I'm pretty sure like after we had the phone conversation, my wife and I started thinking back about it. And my wife was home at the time. She wasn't with us with the truck. So according to the management, we're not allowed to move into the building over the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. And we're not allowed to move outside of the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., which means the only time to move shit in is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't remember that being in the lease. Sure enough, my wife looked at the lease again, and it's in there. Now, I don't know if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're thinking to yourself, damn, I know what that's like, or what the fuck, I've never heard of that. I have heard of it. I've seen it in leases before. This is obviously not the first lease I've ever signed. I have never met anyone who's ever fucking enforced it. That's why we just did what we did. We just loaded up a truck, took whatever time we needed, and we just fucking hauled over. And unfortunately, this building does enforce that. So while the realtor that we've been dealing with, he's a really cool dude. Even when we called him, like, he was being very apologetic, but he was just like, yeah, it's in there. There's nothing I can do. The owner's not going to make any changes, because what happens is that it's technically this is a co-op, so they're worried about how people would take the noise and the disturbances, especially since we just got there like at 7, maybe on the money. So I know for a fact that it's going to be fast. They don't know that, and the other tenants were held to the same time frame, so for them to see and hear moving at 7 o'clock, it's a weird situation. So the end result is I paid for a truck for a few hours, and I was late in returning it. Now, here we are, Saturday, 7 p.m. I got a truck full of my own personal shit, and it has nowhere to go until Monday morning, 9 a.m. So we had to call U-Haul at that point. And you're getting exhausted yet? Because I'm getting exhausted talking about it again. So we had to call U-Haul again and confirm that we needed it now for an additional, I think it was 2 days. But the deal is I picked up the U-Haul at 9 a.m. on Saturday. It just took us forever to fucking pack it. So they go by a 24-hour period. So they said, okay, so it would be an additional day to pay till 9 a.m. Sunday. And then Monday, 9 a.m. would be 2 days. But I can't start moving until Monday, 9 a.m. So for me to keep the truck for after that, I would need to pay from Monday, 9 a.m. to Tuesday, 9 a.m. So I need, originally this was going to cost me like, we had planned this down to the T. The truck, the mileage, everything, because they charge you per mile. So we had everything worked out. This was going to cost us maybe $80. All right, the truck itself is $30, the mileage and the taxes, and I got furniture pads and dollies, and I even bought my own shrink wrap and all that stuff. And we were gonna spend $80 fucking. Now we need an additional 2 fucking days. We need more mileage because not only that, but we never locked my truck. We kept putting the hook on it, and we'd put the lock over it, but we never like fucking slammed the lock shut. So even when we drove it over, we never fucking locked it shut because we were thinking to ourselves, whatever is easiest, so we could just pull in, undo the fucking truck, and then just fucking go. But the problem is when we were told we couldn't move in, obviously I have to park it somewhere, and I'm not gonna leave the fucking thing open, so I slammed the fucker shut. By the way, this is all happening on the 22nd of December, right? So I slammed the fucking thing shut. So we can't move until Monday. Monday's Christmas Eve. So I'm panicking. I don't know what to do with the fucking truck. I already got to pay hand out the ass for this fucking truck for it to sit there and do nothing. Basically hold like a fucking portable storage unit to hold my personal shit in. Basically my whole life is in this truck. And I had my super from my old building who I got really close with over time, like was trying to hook me up. He was like, because they have a parking lot, but all the spots are paid for, so it's a big logistical nightmare. But he said, listen, I'll move some fucking people out and, as a favor to just throw the truck in the back and you can just leave it there. But it's hard because it has to stay there till Monday morning. People got to work. So I got lucky on the way back to my old apartment. There was this big stretch of like an open space right by Prospect Park in Brooklyn. It was a nice open spot, could fit a whole truck in there, and it was good till Monday morning, 8:30. Right? So we're good. We're golden. I just got to leave it in that spot. So I left it there. Never, I think we checked it a few times just to make sure nobody fucked with it. And it was locked the whole time. So the night before, this is Sunday night now, we're just checking the truck real quick before we head over to home to go to sleep and yada, yada, yada. And I can't get the fucking lock open. The key that they gave me for the lock, not only is it not working, it doesn't even fucking fit in the hole. It's just cut all kinds of fucking weird. So we can't call the fucking U-Haul place because it's nighttime. So now we have to make an extra trip. We have to leave in the morning to go back to the U-Haul to then go back to the new apartment because we got to get the fucking lock undone. And when we bring the key to the U-Haul lady, she has no fucking clue why the previous person gave me the key. It doesn't even go to a truck. It goes to some lock thing that they have, I don't know, someplace on site. So they had to go looking for a key. They were about to bolt it, like just bolt cutter the fucking lock. But they ended up finding a key last minute, thankfully. They opened it up, and we were good at that point. But now the problem is my wife caught this crazy attitude because she's thinking to herself, well, we're paying per mile, and we just spent all this mileage on coming to you for a fucking key because you gave us the wrong key. And then we had to go through customer service because my wife refused to pay for that mileage. She goes, we're going from here to here and here to here. It should have been easy. You added an extra step because you gave us the wrong fucking key. Long story short, we did get some money taken off. It was a good deal. And we ended up finally getting the fucking thing off. We bring the fucking truck over because we were told 9 a.m. So by the time everything was done at U-Haul, we get to the fucking new apartment 9:10. 9:10 we get to the fucking apartment. And sure enough, 9:15. Old crow bitch over here, which we found out, also I forgot to mention, we found out the old crow bitch is the fucking super in this building. And I couldn't make out what she was saying the night before. I guess she must have been tired or whatever because she was speaking gibberish. But she was speaking a lot more clear at 9:15 in the morning. And she kept, I've been the super of this building for 50 years, and this is not how we do things, and blah, 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 like a crow, right? Just fucking blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I did everything she fucking asked me to do. I put the truck in the back. There's a whole little area they want you to move shit in through. And I did everything she was asking me to do. And she just kept fucking going. Now, the whole time she was going off, it was on me. So I have patience for that, okay? What I didn't want was her going off on my wife and my son. Luckily for me, by the time my wife and son got involved in the moving process, she was not around. So my wife, so far, has only really seen her. She hasn't really interacted with her, which is a good thing because my wife will fucking snap on her pretty quickly, actually. So, crow bitch comes back over. She's fucking with us. It starts fucking raining. No lie. I wish I was making this shit up. It starts fucking raining on us. We're trying to get this fucking furniture into the apartment. It is a whole ordeal. We got these heavy ass TV thing, stand stuff we have to bring into the apartment. The ramp on the U-Haul is fucking wet. My wife's back is already out. It was a whole fucking ordeal. So much, in fact, it took me almost 20 minutes just now to explain it, apparently. But it was a whole ordeal. I just wanted you guys to feel where I'm coming from when I tell you right now that it's fucking over. And everything is in my house right now. We even started unpacking. We wanted to wait, take a break. But, you know, we're excited. My son's room is done. It's the only room in the house that's fucking done. We couldn't wait. I'm sorry. We're one of those parents. We could not wait. He's got his name on the wall and his bed is all set up. You want to talk about a good fucking feeling. Everything that I just described, everything we went through with just a move, but even before that, looking for the apartment and negotiating the deal for the apartment and everything we went through with the old apartment, to come here and have him sleep in his own fucking room with all of his shit in it, nicely organized, and his bed's looking good and sharp, and he's got this nice whole play area in his room, nice open space. He doesn't even want to bring shit into my living room anymore. It is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous look to not see his shit in my living room. Anybody who's been in my house, and by the way, every interview I've done on this show has been in my house, except for the 1 year anniversary, which was on site somewhere else. But I've done all of the interviews in my house. So for every performer you've heard on my show, every guest, every roundtable, they've all sat in my house and looked across the living room, which is where we did my podcast, and saw this whole wall filled with toys. Heads up, everybody. That's not what you're going to be seeing now. You're going to be seeing a whole lot of empty space, actually, because our apartment is fucking huge in comparison to all the shit I've ever had. This is the biggest apartment I've ever lived in my life. And I say apartment because I've lived in 2 houses before, which obviously had more space. But as far as apartments go, this is the biggest apartment I've ever been in my house. And this is the downgrade version to another apartment that we were interested in. But their school area over there sucked. This school is great. My son's daycare that I've been taking him to for the last 2 years is around the corner from here. His favorite bounce house, his favorite indoor playground area is walking distance. The bouncy house is across the street from my house. The play area, the indoor play area is a 10-minute walk from my house. His favorite playground, outside playground, is around the corner from my house. Everything that we drove from my old apartment to go do is now around the corner. We could not physically be any happier right now to be in this apartment. We're not done yet. I still have to bring some straggler stuff from the other apartment, but for the most part, we're pretty moved in right now, and it feels good, with the exception of Crow Lady. Now, probably thinking to yourself, AJ, she's the super. She's going to be there all the time in your shit. What are you going to do? Here's the thing. I'm not one of these people that just sits and tolerates that kind of shit. She's an old senile piece of shit. So I'm not going to sit here and beat her ass or anything. But what I did do is, like I said, the realtor who showed us this apartment works with the management group that owns the building. So that person's here all the time. And I made a phone call to him earlier. As a matter of fact, today, because yesterday was Christmas. And I didn't get a chance to get into all that, and I will. But, so I called him over today. He came to my apartment. We had a chat, and I basically told him everything that happened, everything I just told you guys. And he heard that story, and he started telling me stories of all the shit she's done in this building. And the owner of this building is pretty much at a point where he's trying to phase her out. There's another guy here doing the quote-unquote super job, because she can't do anything. She can barely walk. All she does is just make noise. She doesn't really do anything. There's another guy that does it, so they're trying to make him the super. So I'll keep you guys abreast of old Crow Lady over here to see what the hell's going on with that. But I'm being told that within the new year here, 2019, they're looking to go in a different direction, so to speak. So thankfully, even though I got a taste of her on the way in, I may not have to deal with her much. after this part, because after this, I mean, once you're in the apartment, what the fuck is she gonna say, right? How often do you see your super unless you like live like right there? And I live on the first floor lobby area. Like once you come into the lobby, my apartment's to the right. You can't see it from the outside, but if it's like it's still down a hallway, but it's not a long hallway. It's right there. The super doesn't even live near me. She's in like another connected building on another floor or whatever. So unless like I'm doing some shit I'm not supposed to, which obviously I'm not, I'm probably not gonna run into that bitch too often. Now, with the new apartment came some other accoutrements. I spent a little money. Orsini spent a little money. Okay, you know I gotta make the family happy here. Not only did I drop change on this apartment here, but I had to go ahead and get some new furniture while we're at it. Got a new couch coming in. Nice little leather accent looking thing. Very beautiful, very comfy. Dining room set. I bought a fucking dining room set. You want to hear how crazy that is? I've never even had a fucking dining room set before. At least not to my fucking knowledge. I don't recall ever really having a dining room set. Except for maybe in those two homes that I lived in. I think I might have had something going on there. But I don't eat on dining room tables. I've never sat at the table to eat, man. I trade tables in front of a TV or sitting on a couch or something. So now I have a dining room set heading to my fucking home. I'm full on adulting here. This is full grown shit going on. All right, this is some real shit right now, and I'm super like just right now. I'm at a point where I'm just last night I got a chance to sit in my new tub and just fucking chill. And that's when I started responding on social media. I haven't done any social media anything in the last few days because of everything I just fucking described. But I haven't been on social media. I haven't been doing anything with wrestling. I haven't been doing anything with my show. I know the end of the year is a big time for that. We've got Wrestle Kingdom coming up soon. There's a lot of pro wrestling turning around the corner. The McMahons came out there and they want to take control and all that stuff. I haven't really had a chance much to talk about it. I was very grateful for my friend last week, Paul Green, who came over and did the show with me. We did that episode super early in the week so that I had time to do all of this. Right now I'm recording this episode the day of. It's about 3:43 in the afternoon. They took my son to the bouncy house across the street so I can do my show. So there's been a lot going on here at the House of O, or the new House of O, and the family of O, and it's been an amazing deal. And I've been planning around. I've kept my commitment. I'm still doing weekly content, and I didn't want to drop the ball here because, to be honest with you, today is a really good day, and I really wanted to spend it with my family, and I should be at the bouncy house right now with my family. But I wanted to do this, and I needed to do this. My family understands that I have to do this because this is a commitment that I've made to you, and I will continue to do for as long as you guys want me to do it. I love the feedback I get for the show. I love the communication that I get. I love the support that I get from you people, from the squad of O. It's been a wonderful ride. I started this podcast in 2017. October 11th, 2017, which I'm going to get a tattoo of that at some point. But I definitely I've done those things, and I started the show in 2017 with the hope and prayer that at some point, man, I'm going to be able to do some really cool stuff with it, and I'm happy to say that I totally have. I totally have done some really cool stuff with this show, and I intend to do a whole lot more, man. I really do. I've had a lot of great people on this show. I've had a lot of great conversation. I've had the sound bites from this show share pretty good. It's been a lot of things going on with Orsini's Uncensored Mind. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up here because I'm super proud of this in particular. This is episode 68, and I've had growing success. It's only gone up, and it's so great. But I started looking at this, and I was curious, and I went to Podbean and I started looking, and I was just curious where I stood with my episodes, and I looked up all the statistics for 2018, and it tells me there's a category for it: top 10 most downloaded episodes, and the time frame set is for basically January 1st to now. And I have my top 10 episodes, and I wanted to talk about them for a quick second because I think personally each episode that's on this list means a lot to me. And the fact that some of the biggest episodes that I've ever done are the ones that are the closest to me. Like, for instance, episode 10, number 10, the most these are the most downloaded episodes in 2018, which number 10, the 10th most downloaded, episode 31, comic book discussion. The fact that is number 10 out of 68 is amazing because it's, audio-wise, it's the worst show I've ever done. That was the episode with Brandon Lewis where we sat down and did a whole thing on comic books. It was the culmination of Comic Book Week. I did a whole week of tribute to comic books, and we did a comic book discussion, and it was an amazing conversation, and I was extremely pissed off when I found out that the audio did not turn out the way that I had hoped. That episode was released April 26th, 2018, and it's one of my favorite episodes because it's not wrestling. It's something else that's a passion of mine, the comic book stuff. And I was able to do it with one of my best friends, if not the best friend in the entire world, which Paul Green is testing. We may have to have a best friend off to figure out who's going to take the top spot. But Brandon's definitely been one of my long-term friends for a long time. And to have that episode 31, comic book discussion, which is still available. All my episodes are still available, but you guys can go check that out. Episode number 9. The 9th most, I gotta figure out a different way to explain that, but the 9th most downloaded episode in 2018 was actually released in January of 2018. I have three January, 1, 2, 3, 4 actually, that were released in January. Last year was a big month, so hopefully January of this year is also a big month, but the 9th most downloaded episode is episode 14, Kayfabe, Dead or Alive. That is the only episode ever that I spent the whole episode on one topic, and it was kayfabe, dead or alive, whether or not kayfabe was still alive or it wasn't. I got a lot of feedback from that, from people considering it a rant, because I was on that episode by myself, and it was a full hour of me just talking about kayfabe and all the different things and problems that I had with the discussion and how that worked with fans and with performers. And Dead or Alive was basically the whole subject was whether or not kayfabe still existed or it didn't. And for the record, I still believe that it does. And I tried to give you that convincing argument there. And the fact that it was released almost a year ago and still stands as one of the top most downloaded episodes, I'm very proud of that because that means people either agreed or disagreed enough to where they wanted to, combat it, which is fine. It's fine with me. The 8th most downloaded episode, episode 33, interview with Mike Law. I could not be more proud and happy for Mike Law for everything that he's done since this interview. I brought him on because, quite frankly, he's one of my favorite performers in the world. He's one of my favorite performers. He's not the biggest guy, but he can work a match with any fucking body on the planet, eyes closed, and that match will be awesome and fun to watch. And that is a testament to his ability and his skill. He's a very talented performer. He's a ball of fun. He's really an interesting guy. And the fact that I had him on the show to me is huge. The fact that he agreed to even do it was even more huge. And I'm happy for the success that he's had immediately after it. On the episode, we talked about his Super 8 performance, which had just happened. And now, right after the interview was released, I think it was the week of, not only in his Super 8 performance, but he shocked the world by coming back right after my interview, too, like a week. And he wins the ECWA Heavyweight Championship. And not only did he have a successful run with that, but now he's getting looks from Ring of Honor. He's doing all these hits with them and touring. He's doing a lot of cool shit, man. And I'm super happy for him, and I'm glad I've had him on the show. 8th most downloaded, and that was released May 10th. That was May, and it's still one of my highest downloaded shows. Super, super happy about that. 7th most downloaded, and for a while it was on top. It was on top for a while. But it's one of my favorite episodes of all time, and we're going to have to do another one soon. January 28th, 2018, episode 17, the Royal Rumble Roundtable. That was the first, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the first roundtable. That was the first time I ever had multiple guests on, and that was Maddie Ming, Ian, and I believe it was Mrs. O? I think it was Mrs. O, because I think Brendan came for the Mania one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Royal Rumble Roundtable, that was the first time I got a chance to do a roundtable. I need more of those. I want more roundtables, not just for big pay-per-views, but just for like different topics and stuff. I just want to get more people on the show Because as much as I enjoy being on the show alone and getting my point across, sometimes I want the feedback. I want to go back and forth. So the roundtables would be a lot more fun. Now with this new apartment, I got a lot more room. This is going to be great. This is just going to be great. I can't wait. So that's that. Sixth most downloaded episode is the one that I hold probably the most dear to my heart. Episode 27, Our Personal Journey to WrestleMania. That was the episode, if I'm not mistaken, where I took a very long time to get some feedback from people, and I wanted to hear from the wrestling fan that we never really get a chance to hear from. And again, that is, if you have a chance, that's episode 27. I got a chance to speak with some people who are wrestling fans who really don't have an easy go at a lot of these shows and a lot of these events. And I mean, I had people talking on that show that had PTSD, fans that were dealing with autism who love WrestleMania, love the ambiance of it and the performance and the entertainment of it, but they have such a hard time attending the shows, physical disabilities, mental disabilities, and I really had a lot of great feedback from that. There was some audio clips that were played. It was a really good episode, and every time WrestleMania rolls around, it's very easy to just point at the performance and celebrate them, as well you should. But I think there's a lot of fans who work really hard to be fans, and they should get some support every now and then. So that was what that episode was about. Episode 27, Our Personal Journey to WrestleMania. That was released April 5th of 2018, and that comes in at number 6. Number 5, the 5th most downloaded episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Episode 15, 25 years of great/horrible Raws. That is me and Mrs. O going back and forth on the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. We talked a lot about the no refund thing and some of the best moments of Raws and SmackDowns. Best moments of Raw over the last 25 years. My wife had not seen every episode, obviously, but I had. I have seen every episode of Monday Night Raw there has literally ever been, including seeing the very first episode live as it happened. It was a big deal here in New York. In case you don't recall, it happened in the Manhattan Ballroom, so the advertisements were everywhere. You couldn't not go to see it, is my point. So that was number 5, 25 years of great/horrible Raws. Actually, I think we go over the show a little bit too, before it happened. So there was some predictions and whatnot made on that show. So there's that. Number 4, Fight Disclaimer, which is episode 30. And I have to be honest with you, I have no fucking clue why that one in particular was such a heavily downloaded episode. From the very minute that it was uploaded, which was on April 18th, it's just been, people just keep going back to it, and I don't understand what it is specifically about it. I'll read a quick synopsis about it. It's 30 episodes young, and it feels so good. Today we talk a little MMA, UFC. This was during the McGregor-Mayweather deal. Talked about a possible rematch in the Octagon. CM Punk returning, or a possible return, or was it to the Octagon, right? The superstar shakeup, Bruno Sammartino passing away, the Starbucks situation. Yeah, the lady threw the poo. Is that it though? No. That's not the lady who threw the poo. That was the Canadian catastrophe. I'm sorry, I'm confusing my episodes. The Starbucks situation sparked quite a debate. I go a little bit more into detail here and explain my case. Okay, yeah, that was when they had the whole when the 2 African American gentlemen at the Starbucks got the cops called on them. Literally for just sitting at a fucking Starbucks. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember much about this episode, and I don't know why it's number 4, but it is. There's someone somewhere keeps bringing up this episode to someone else. I don't know. Maybe they're winning an argument with it. I don't know. Tell me about it. I don't know what it is. It's very telling that the top 3 episodes are all interviews, which is why I'm very gassed at this point and trying to get more interviews on the show, because it seems like that's what you guys really want to hear. enough with me, right? You guys want to hear some fucking shit about some other people. So the number 3 episode all time, uh, episode 21, The GOAT interview, greatest of all time. Those are my brothers and sisters in arms, and a group that I used to manage, that I grew up with in this business, that we all came out together, and super happy for their success, because that interview was released February 22nd, 2018, and they're still the tag team champions over in WXWC4, the Anawahi family promotion. They're still the tag team champions. I think they're in the 500-day category at this point. Like, they're just an unbeatable tag team over there. The Zoltan, that is, and of course the big man Rays, Chris Cage, Whiplash, the Silver Goddess, Ivy Roman. They've added another one, Jael Cotto, who is now the Diamond Division, if I'm not mistaken, champion over in WXW. So it's the family is growing, and I haven't been a contributing member of that family for a while, but they're still family to me as far as I'm concerned. Number 2 episode all time. Episode 46, interview with Ariel NX. This was one of my most successful episodes ever of all time in a short span. This one was released August 9th. I'm starting to notice a lot of my numbers in the summer are pretty good. You guys like me in the summer, but yes, this was a huge success right out of the gate. There were a lot of people. I think it got like 75 to 80% of its current downloads in the day it was released. There were a lot of people really interested in listening to this episode, and it's one of my better ones. It was the first female interview that I did, and I was really excited about that because I've had her back on since. We did the Evolution Roundtable together, but she's one of my all-time favorites. I love working with Ariel NX, and I'm glad she was able to do my show not once but twice, folks. That's friendship right there. If she's listening to this right now, that is friendship. And the number 1 show that has been number 1, that has not left number 1 since its release, which was back in January the 25th, and I have a really big inclination on having him back on just because so much has gone on with him since. He's actually retired from the business since this episode has released. But EC Negro, it was my first interview. Episode 16, he was my first interview, and he's still, to this day, the highest downloaded episode I have ever had. Ariel NX came awfully close. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this right now and you download just a few more, if you download the Ariel NX episode a few times, you will make her number 1. She's really close. She got the closest, her and the GOAT. But far and away for a long time before those interviews took place, EC Negro has been my most downloaded episode ever of all time. So I am deeply appreciative to him, not only for giving me that interview and for giving me a damn good interview. If you listen to that interview, that's probably still to this day like the standard bearer of interviews when it comes to me. That's one of my best interviews ever. I've done some good ones since. I'm not going to say I'm bad at it, but that to me, that was one of the best interviews I've ever done. So I'm glad it's near the top, let alone number 1. I'm happy about that. So that's my Orsini's Uncensored Mind for 2018. I'm looking to destroy those numbers in 2019. I got a lot of crazy shit coming up down the pike and down the line, and I am super happy about that. I'm super happy about a lot of stuff that's going on in the House of O right now. I'm letting you guys in here. There's a lot of this conversation on this episode has been about me, my life, and 2018, and now we got a lot of stuff to talk about in 2019. I wanted to do some wrestling stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have the time now. I ate up a lot of that real estate, but I will say this. Because I'm going to keep this episode nice and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really think I'm even going to make the 60 minutes. I have a lot of stuff I have to get to in my home. My family has returned from the bouncy house. I got family over. There's a lot of stuff I still have to do, and I'm doing the show. So here's what I'm going to do. This is the last episode of 2018, and I don't want anyone gypped, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm shortchanging you, and I do apologize. But I want you to take into consideration this. Okay, because I'm leaving now. This is me signing off. I'm going to leave you with this. I did a rant not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I think it was episode 63, Dickapalooza. I was pretty pissed off that day. And I did this rant. And I said something that night in a fit of anger that I didn't realize how true it was until I heard it back. Because I don't really listen to my episodes, but there are certain things I said in that that episode where people were like, you might want to listen to what you said on that. So I did. And I went back. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I went back to that and I regret something that I said, because I don't. I don't regret anything that I said on that show. As a matter of fact, I very rarely ever regret saying anything on this show, because I know that if I say it here, that I usually end up meaning it. Even in a fit of anger, like I did for that particular episode, I'm pretty upfront with being honest about pretty much anything. So, what am I bringing it up for? Well, one of the things that I said on that episode, I don't do things for likes. I don't do things for you. I do things for me. And if it works out for me and you, then that's the kind of collaborative environment I want to be in. I feel it's a better product for everyone when the person who's creating the product is being as real and as close to themselves as they possibly can be. If I were to go out here on the radio waves here, on the podcast waves, whatever, and just shuck and jive and give you the same rudimentary bullshit that everyone else gives you, that all these other podcast hosts give you, or they want you to do this, or they want you to do that, or please tell me how much you love me, and they want you to give them pats on the back and all that other garbage. If I really did all that, I would not be able to respect myself, to be honest with you, because I don't placate to people. I never have. I have zero intentions of starting now. I don't want to placate. I don't want to kiss ass. I don't want to suck any dicks to get likes and to get a few shares and all that other stuff. You either support my show because you like the show, or you don't. If you don't like my show, don't support it. That's fine. Don't be fake. I'm not going to be fake, so I'm not expecting you to be fake. All right? If you like the show, support it. If you don't like the show, don't support it. One of the things that I said on that show is, and I'll repeat it again, I don't do this for you, I do this for me. I had a buddy email me and say, you might not want to say that on the air, man. You're going to turn some people off. If you get turned off by that, then you get turned off by that. You can leave. It's fine. It's fine. I want to do things that make me happy. And if they happen to make you happy as well, then that's great for everyone. And I'm happy to say, not to be redundant with the word happy, but I'm happy to say I've gotten a lot of great feedback from people who either agree or disagree. If you disagree with anything I say on this show, guess what? I still consider that great feedback. I don't delete your comments. I don't ignore you. I don't shy away from combating. If you want to go at it with me because you think I said something stupid or you disagree, come at me, bro. I don't really care. Keep it civil, but we'll go back and forth. That's fine. No one is required to agree with me all the time. That's why a lot of people keep saying, we need more Mrs. O on the show. I hear it all the time. And you know why people ask for my wife more than anybody else? Because my wife has zero problem coming on the show, doing it in front of people. It doesn't matter. If my wife disagrees with me, she's got the balls to tell me to my face, no, that's wrong, or no, I disagree, or no, I think it's this. I need more of that. Not just from my show hosts or my guests, or from you too, from the fans. It doesn't necessarily have to go, AJ's just right all the time. Although, you know what, to be honest with you, I probably am, but that's not the point. I may see things different from you. I have no problem with trying to understand your point of view. I just want to hear it. Give me your point of view. Give me your feedback. There's a lot of times where I say things on this show, and I think my brother said it to me. He goes, I like it better when someone across from you decides to go a different way. So in 2019, I'm going to set myself up for that. You're going to be hearing the tone of this show is going to be a lot different in 2019. I'm not going to have a consistent co-host. I just don't have the time schedule for that, and I don't have a buddy who has the time schedule to be on my show weekly all the time. I could do my wife, but my wife, she gets edgy with this kind of stuff. She's not really much of a, a public personality type person. She'll do it every now and then, especially if she's drunk or something. We'll go on, we'll bug out, yada yada yada. But I don't really have consistent access to a host all the time, so that kind of works out for me because I can get different voices in here, different opinions. And some of them you may know, some of them you may not know, just to get difference of opinion. Just like the McMahons on Raw, I'm going to start to shake some shit up and keep some shit fresh. And because the whole point is not just to keep you entertained, but to keep myself entertained as well. If I keep doing the same thing over and over and over, then it really isn't all that entertaining and it isn't all that fun. So that's just a heads up coming up in 2019. So I want to thank you guys for all of your support. I want to thank you guys for everything that you guys have done for me in 2018 and 2017 for that matter, and what you plan to do for me in 2019. Thank you guys so much. You guys have no idea how important this show out of nowhere has become to me. You know, for so long I put off doing it, and I really regret it because I would have been so deep into it by now. I know my numbers would have been even better by now had I just got off the couch and just did it. But now I'm happy that I am. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because I'm probably not going to have another. The next episode comes out January 2nd, so a Happy New Year to all of you. Based on this episode, you guys know now that after all the stress, all the bad stuff, all the negativity that I've had to deal with over the past few weeks, brother, it is all gone. I want all of you to know right now that you guys are just as much a part of my family who's put me in such a good place right now, and I can't thank you guys enough for your support, for pushing for me and keeping me motivated and keeping me doing this thing for as long as I can possibly do it, man. So thank you guys. I'm going to sign off here and go do what I got to do. You guys enjoy your Christmas as well. A lot of wrestling talk coming up. 2019, as a matter of fact, I think I have an opener coming up next week. You guys are really going to enjoy. So we're going to start off hot, baby. We're going to come right out of the cannon, right out of the gun next week. Please tune in. Also, for those of you who did not get the chance because Christmas is now officially over, don't worry about it. You still get your chance. I'm not going to play the commercial. I'll just tell you straight up. Head over to prowrestlingtees.com, guys. Do me the solid. Get yourself a t-shirt. They're sexy as all hell. Get the t-shirt. Take a pic. You'll be added to the Squad of O section on the Facebook page. I got a Squad of O section with all the people who've purchased my shirt so far. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading. Thank you guys for sharing. And of course, for all of 2018 and into 2019, thank you for enjoying. This is episode 68.
At my house, listen to my daddy so. Or see me the extra line.